Guys, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, especially if you love college football and the NFL as much as I do. And as you all know, the NFL draft starts tomorrow. Who do I think is going to be better in the long term for the NFL? I have to go with Jayden Daniels. I like him a lot better than I do Caleb Williams. Now, look, Caleb Williams undeniably has a lot of talent. Now, I'm not saying he won't be successful. I'm just talking about who I think will be more successful than the other. I think Jayden Daniels is it. From what I saw in college, when you play at LSU, you're always playing the best teams. And in his time, he was playing all the Alabamas. He's played the Florida States. He's played Georgia at some point in the SEC championship. He's played... Who else did they play while he was there? Auburn, who's always real tough to deal with. Ole Miss, Arkansas, who's tough to deal with for anybody when they play good. You name it, he's played everybody. There's never a time I can remember during his LSU days or even his Arizona State days where he threw the game for his team or didn't play very well. The closest I can come to was Florida State this past year, but that really wasn't his fault. LSU did not have a good defense this past year. And even the year before that, the defense wasn't very good. But he played really well. He played his heart out. And, I thought he was really good. Caleb Williams, on the other hand, has costed his teams games in the past. Even dating back to his Oklahoma days, he has won a game for him. But then when he played against Oklahoma State, and I think it was Baylor they lost to in 2021, he didn't play very great. He did turn the ball over. He had overthrown passes. He was able to run a lot, but obviously couldn't come up clutch to win the game. And I know with Oklahoma and even his USC days, he never had a good defense in his back pocket either. But I'm also looking at how either guy, him or Jayden Daniels, have costed the game, or the reason why any games they lost were their fault. And for what I've seen, Caleb Williams, they did lose to Utah. So that wasn't his fault. That wasn't his fault when they lost to him, Utah, either game. And then the rematch in the Pac-12 championship in 2022, he didn't play great, but he also got hurt, so I don't count that against him either. But then again, Jayden Daniels was hurt a lot in 2022 also, so I don't know. He did play in the Cotton Bowl. He didn't play bad. That wasn't his fault either, defense. But when you look at Notre Dame this past year, Notre Dame was a really good team, but not a top 10 team. They did lose 3 games. And he played terribly at Notre Dame. That was his fault. He did throw quite a few interceptions. He wasn't able to escape the pressure like he did in a lot of games, but that can be studied and fixed. But Jayden Daniels, he did it back-to-back years and actually did it better this past year in escaping pressure, being able to run through everybody except Florida State's defense. But, and again, Jayden Daniels, obviously LSU never really had a chance to compete in a national championship game or anything like that, but they were always pretty good, so USC also in a kind of a similar boat. You could tell Jayden Daniels still played his heart out for his team. He still looked to get better throughout the year. And Caleb Williams, on the other hand, not to make excuses, but when you know the season's pretty much over, he didn't really care anymore. What I don't like is Caleb Williams, to me, looks like he was a very selfish football player. Versus Jayden Daniels, he didn't look quite as selfish. He was willing to play for his team. Now, I know neither guy played in the ball game, but you see that a lot of days in college football, so I don't really care about that. But if I had to go with a guy who's more of a team guy, a guy that's more likely to succeed in the NFL and willing to make plays for his team and be selfless, I'd have to go with Jayden Daniels. Because, again, Jayden Daniels, yes, he's a great athlete. Yes, he can run, but he's got really good ball skills. He's good with deep ball accuracy. He has everything you'd want and more when it comes to playing in the NFL. Caleb Williams does too. I do see both guys winning a Super Bowl at their best, but again, whoever I think is more successful in the long run, even if it's just a little bit more successful, I have to go with Jayden Daniels.